All right. So we're back on this map again, and the map probably looks way different to you guys. So before happened to part 6. Now to you this is part 6, but to me this is part 7. So what happened to part 6? I honestly have I have no clue. The file got deleted. I don't know where it went. So I'm gonna have to explain everything that happened in the World War II peace treaty. Um, we'll get to Europe last. That's the most important part. Down, actually, you can't even go to South America because that's okay. No, let's go to Europe. Okay, so if you remember, Russia invaded the West and um started World War III and World War II. Um, now Russia is very not Russia anymore. So what happened to peace treaty? Well, um, Germany gave Ukraine full independence. Um, there's 4 new countries, uh, in the middle here. I guess you can say this is Belarus. You can say this timeline's Belarus. And then these guys are just 2 countries that might not be here for that long. Who knows? I mean, this one definitely will be. I mean, they got St. Petersburg. Um, I mean, they might be here for a while. Like they're probably a really good economic country since they got St. Petersburg. It depends. These two though, who knows? Like they could be here for 5 episodes, 2 episodes, 1 episode. Who knows? Um, so then we have Georgia getting independence, and we have this Caucasian country getting independence. Now you might see this nuclear blast here. So if you remember, in World War II, Germany nuked Baku, and um, it basically won them the war. So we're gonna be talking about nuclear bombs a lot more this episode. But there's 3 levels of nuclear radiation. There's the dark green, where this is like absolutely 0 people are living there. Like if you go there, you will die. Um, then there's this like tannish green, I guess you could say. This one is you it's still really dangerous, but it's not as bad as this one. And then this one is just the lighter green. It's very niche. Like it's like there's radiation. If you go there, you'll feel the radiation, but you're not gonna get affected by it. And up in Finland, Russia meant to nuke Germany, but they accidentally nuked Finland. So yeah, this one's not really gonna be that important, really. Like it's not really gonna affect Finland all that much. This one though is going to affect them significantly. Like they don't have much oil. I mean they have oil, but not a lot. So yeah. Now okay, let's go over to Asia. Asia looks way different. Um so we have um Xinjiang still being here, Tibet still being here. We have Mongolia being here. Um Mongolia was split between Xinjiang, China, and Russia before the Second World War. But now they're back as Russia lost the Second World War and Russia is effectively crippled. Like um they lost all of the western land. They don't really have a coast. Like they have this coast, like but that's like that it's frozen like most of the year, so it's like wow, it's basically not even coast. So you can say Russia's now landlocked, but it really isn't. Um, so you might see one country missing here, and that was this when China went into a civil war. It was this country that reside right around here. And what happened to it? Well, Japan fully annexes China. Now, that might seem bonkers because that's like Japan's here, but they fully annexed China with the peace treaty, and this thing here. So this right here, Japan, Japan up here, Japan. So Japan is a major power. I mean, we'll get into the Cold War aspects in a couple minutes, but like, oh yeah, and Japan. Um, I guess now the only continent that really also changed was South America. Now this is where the first aspect of the Cold War took place. Um, so let's just go World War II first. Colombia annexed most of the valuable land in Venezuela. Venezuela is basically crippled as of now, and then they have more forest here, so that's cool. Paraguay and Bolivia are back. Um, so what happened to this? So you might remember in World War II how Brazil fell into a civil war. So Germany and Japan were like, okay, we're gonna get in on this since we're the strongest countries in the world. So basically, this northern Germany, uh, yeah, no, northern Brazil is German Brazil, and this one is the Japanese Brazil, which which might get into trying to influence these three here. But Argentina in this timeline is more of like German leaning, but that could change. So like they'd be closer to this part, so it's like you never know. So, the Cold War, it is in full swoop at this point. It's Germany versus Japan. Now they're basically across the world. Um, but a major factor is going to be probably Russia, just because if you can influence Russia now, then that's a lot of land against the other. But Russia is like, I guess if they wouldn't, they're in their own influence really. Russia still has an influence. It's mainly like here, like no, I could show the spheres of influence, but we're not going to. Oh yeah, and Bulgaria is gone. Bulgaria is gone. Romania also got partitioned, so well, they're still here, but yeah, this Hungary is so bad. Oh my god. This is such a bad Hungary, but hey, whatever. This is Hungary, by the way. It looks more of a swordfish than anything. The sword of Europe. That's what we'll call it, the sword of Europe. Um, so actually, more of looks like a some kind of dinosaur skull. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about this anymore. So let's go over to Africa. So Africa, as we know in our timeline, it did come to decolonization after World War II, and Japan is going to influence a lot of militias in Africa to get independence faster. So we have like with Belgium, we have Belgium's colony fall into a civil war. All right, so this is the sides of the civil war. It's they're fighting for the sovereignty against Belgium, and I guess Belgium should really be covered. But this picture there, um, so how does the Europe stand with this? Well, it scares the UK and France. It really does. It really does scare them, because what about their colonies like Nigeria and all like Northern Africa and like this? It really scares all of the European powers. It's like it's starting like if they lose their uh colonies here, then their empire collapses. So let's go back down to here. So we have fighting continuing. We have decides now this is like But like this is just like all this uninhabitable land. This is habited, so it's on like the Belgian um the Belgian colonial military is kind of fighting off this southern section. They're kind of defending this, so we can just kind of color all of this yellow. Like this is what they're defending. So this is what they're defending, and yeah, it's not gonna go good for the uh colonial government at all. So we have the sides pushing in from both sides, looking to complete an encirclement. Um, it's an encirclement threat, and they're going to go down and cut off this section with like 20,000 troops, and then they're going to cut them off, and either they surrender or they die. Um, so let's go over here, and eventually this encirclement is captured. Surrender and surrender. Okay, and peace treaty. Alright, so in the peace treaty we have the first colony getting independence. And this is a really important event. So so I guess you can just call it the Congo, the DRC Congo. This guy is going to spark more movements across all of Africa for their independence. Um, Italy is going to go down to its colonies and um give it more sovereignty, but it's kind of like turning it into a puppet. Like these two in particular. So Italy's going to install. They're going to give these two sovereignty, but it's kind of like sovereignty under Italy's rule. So these two, like, so we can now add Eritrea and then Somalia to the countries just under Italian's influence, and they're going to influence a lot of stuff that happens in them. So it's still basically the same. It's just they're making a certain decision. The people of Libya are going to demand more of this, but since it's closer, Italy's going to uphold a strict policy with Libya. Um, so let's go over to Europe. Um, we have um, actually it's more of like Middle East, but we have um two countries kind of arguing over land, and it's Greece and Turkey. Um, so what are they gonna do? Well, the Ottoman Empire is going to declare war on Turkey. What? No, that's not what's gonna happen. The Ottoman Empire is going to declare war on Greece. So, this war was upcoming, and how like these two powers are relatively um the same in power level, but we kind of have Europe kind of just like we have good relations with both of them. Don't we want to stop this from happening? But it's like we can't really stop it. So they just kind of shut their eyes and just let it happen. Um, France though kind of is like oof, because Greece was like one of my biggest allies. So yeah, it kind of sucks. So France is going to aid France is going to aid Greece in this conflict, and we have Greece going on the offensive first, and we have fighting on the border as it's very resistant. Like these two are very nationalistic. They both claim land off of each other. That land, like Greece claimed all the land up to here, but then Turkey had like a claim all the way up to here. So it's kind of like this war is going to happen eventually. So let's get back to the fighting. Um, so Greece is going to send in troops over here, and it's basically going to cut off all of this. Now we have Romania joining the fight. Now Romania sided with Russia in World War II, but they want more of the land back, and what a perfect time to get it back. Greece is kind of like, I know we fought against each other, but I'm like, if you want your land back, I mean, hey, fight with me, and I'll get you it back. So the Romanians are going to go over here and take some land. We kind of have like Serbia being like the protect. I guess you could say like the big empire of the Balkans. Now, um, they are concerned with both sides. They're concerned with Greece getting more land because they have a claim over Macedonia, and it's kind of like, hey, you're not gonna attack me if you win this war, right? And Greece just says, no promises. And they have a problem with Romania because Romania lost a lot of land to them. So what will they do? They're not gonna do anything. They're just gonna go to Germany and be like, "Yo, can you like protect me or something?" Like we're already allies, but it's like we like I'm kind of scared here because we have these two are kind of destroying the Ottomans. So Germany gives them. Germany says if Greece or Romania attacks you, we will intervene. What way will that be? That's for them to find out. So, still over here we have um more carnage. Um, this boy is very nationalistic. It's it's starting to get to the point where it's starting to get like, I wouldn't say more deadly than World War One, but it's kind of like it's way more nationalistic than World War One was. Um, so we have um Ottoman Empire not really, they're losing land, but they are not gonna give up. So, what do surrounding powers say about this? Well, you remember back before World War Two, the Saudis over here that wanted to live in Saudi Arabia, and then they gradually been moving out. Well, this is kind of the perfect time for them to yeah. Okay, so turns out we guys might have forgot about the Saudis living here. You guys may have forgot about them. They're back and they want to join Saudi Arabia, and this is huge for Saudi Arabia because if they get independence, they will merge with Saudi Arabia and give them a Mediterranean coast. That is huge for them. That will expand them even more, and it's going to basically make. I mean, I mean, it's not really Saudi Arabia. It's more like Arabia. So it's like they already have all the Arabian Peninsula, but if they actually get Mediterranean coast, it sets them up for trade with Europe easier and more effectively. Um, they can become a very strong power and a very influential one as well. Persia is going to stay out of this. Now they did grow in relations, even though they fought World War One against each other. They fought World War Two with each other. They're just gonna stay out of this. They don't want anything to do with this. So what will Turkey do against this? Well, they're gonna immediately come over and crush them. Now Saudi Arabia is gonna be like, hey, don't do this, cause don't go into them, cause if so, then I'm gonna have to go and get involved. So, and then the Ottoman Empire is like, are you serious right now? I thought we had an agreement with this area, which they made that agreement pretty much before World War Two started. And they said, well, we did, but you're kind of getting slapped over here, and I could do with a little bit more land. So if you want to keep your land, uh, I would let them pick their own paths. Okay, that's not what happens. So in a way, we have Saudi Arabia threatening the Ottoman Empire, which the Ottoman Empire is still a decaying empire. It's still going to eventually uh go away. Like it's not going to be here for much longer. And who knows? Maybe next episode is the final episode of the Ottoman Empire. So so what the Ottoman Empire thinks they're bluffing, and then they going for it, going more, and then they join, the okay, and we have these guys merging with them immediately. So with the Arabians now over here, and you don't want to surrender over these guys. So what's up? What are we doing here? Well, the Ottoman Empire is just gonna keep fighting. They don't know when to give up, and eventually it leaves the front lines at like this, and Ankara is taken. Let's check down here. Okay, so do you want to give up now? Okay, they're giving up. Okay, let's get to this peace treaty. All right, in the peace treaty, we have Greece getting a lot, basically complete control of the Aegean Sea. Uh, Romania gets more land down here, and it helps them with the Black Sea coast for trade with like this Caucasian country, the Georgia, um, Ukraine if they want to do it like this, but you can just go on the border. So it's pretty good. Um, Now Arabia gets exactly what it wants. It gets a Mediterranean coast, and it is now starting to trade like 3 times more with countries like Greece, with Italy, Serbia. Basically, those are its main three that it's going to trade with, and it's going to benefit all four of the countries. So, okay, let's go back over here with Germany. Um, so Germany, let's have the amount of nuclear bombs that they have in the world. Germany has 5. Japan has 3. Um, yeah, these numbers are a little bit outdated. Okay, so let's go over the nuclear bombs that actually exist in the world. Germany has 10 nuclear bombs, and Japan has 9. Um, so okay, now let's start getting into Japanese expansion. Um, so where can they expand? Well, you could merge with your puppet state, but it's like don't know if you really want to do that because you would upset a lot of Manchurians that wanted independence for so long. So probably not. Same with these guys; they're not gonna attack them. Um, you could mess with stuff in Burma, try to uh mess up the British. But really, the only place for them to really go would be the Philippines. But at this point, the Philippines are an American colony. They're an American colony, so that won't happen. So where will they expand? Well, they're gonna go all the way down to. Well, they're not gonna expand militarily. What they will expand to is rebellions, and what they will do is fund a rebellion in British Malaysia. Okay, so this happened, and eventually this will happen, and then not yet. Eventually, this place will get cut off. It's now in 2 different places, and okay, yeah. So okay, that happens. And now now in the peace treaty, we have Malaysia getting full independence, and the first thing it will do is invade uh this tiny country right here. And I don't think I have to show how this will go because I think you guys are now. Okay, so peace treaty is gone. So you can kind of see the role that Japan is going to do and how it's going to get its allies. It's going to basically take them from the West. So that's kind of all of in the Pacific that's gonna happen. We're gonna do something with this now. Now this has been here. It's probably around 19. When did World War II start? 1940. And it ended 1948. So it's probably around 1950 now. Um. Yeah, we probably have um this radiation getting pushed back a little bit due to the wind. Um. So time to talk more about nuclear bombs. These nuclear bombs are basically like the modern day bombs. Like they're powerful, but they're not really all that strong. So they're gonna absolutely destroy whatever they touch. But it's not as good as like the modern day bombs. It's a little bit worse than the bombs dropped in Japan in real life. Over in Finland, um, we have everything in the ocean getting filled, and then but this one's basically like it's not gonna last long because it's really cold, and we're down to the second layer on this one. And honestly, it's gonna be here for a few episodes, but it's weakening. That one up there is very weakening. Um, so time to go over to the South American continent. So we have once again, it's kind of like not really much can happen in the world as of right now. Um, but I mean, stuff has happened in this episode, obviously, like decolonization, like you got independence. These guys technically got independence. Um, it's kind of like stuff can happen, but on a lesser scale. Which I mean, if anything happened on a bigger scale, it would be nuclear war. So that's technically a good thing. But we have Colombia starting to get expansionist ideals, and they're going to invade Panama. And if it's not clear what they're trying to do, they're trying to bring back Grand Colombia. That's kind of like that's been the reasons for joining World War II. Um, they just want to bring back the empire in a stronger scale. So Panama has like no troops, so yeah, this is gonna go pretty easy. Now, what does the American think with this? Not good, but they're not. They're once again the Americans are going isolationist again. They're close with Europe, but that's really all they're close with. Like they're enemies with Japan, obviously, but I mean that's just how it goes. So that's it for South America. Well, not really it. There's more stuff that's gonna happen. Um, we have Brazil. Well, I guess you can call this Brazil and then Japanese Brazil. Um, there's probably a different. It's probably a different country name. But I'm just gonna call it Japanese Brazil. They start to argue about territories regarding the coast a lot. So um, a coalition might form against this, but then that might get Japanese involvement. So that wouldn't really be good. Um, all right. So back over to Russia. Russia's been quiet. I mean, there's nothing they can really do. Um, they're just kind of stuck. They can't. The economy sucks. Like everything sucks in Russia. But it might get to the point where Russia might actually collapse as a country and fragment. Like the only population is like down here. That's really it, and Russia might full on collapse. So we have Russia kind of going to the West, saying, "Hey, can we please get some economical prosperity? Like we know what we did is bad," and Germany's like, "No." Germany's like, no, not happening." So they go over to Japan, and Japan's also like, "No, but we'll give you some economical benefits, but it's not nearly enough is what Russia needs." So it's um it's helping Russia, but people in the country are having rebellious ideas. Okay, so now we're going. So a union is going to form in Central America as the last event of this episode. We have Mexico and this what's Guatemala? Yeah, I believe it's Guatemala. We have Mexico and Guatemala merging into one country, and this country is just going to be called the Union of Central America. Um, it's primarily formed against Colombian expansion because they want to once again expand more into Costa Rica. This is the Americans are kind of gatekeeping them from that. But it starts getting more popular as Belize. Actually, no, Belize is owned. Who cares? Belize gets independence from the British and joins this. Um, so that's it. Now next country that wants to be joining this is probably El Salvador, maybe. Who knows? But that's gonna be it for this episode. Now this was supposed to be part 7, so realistically this is the events of part 7. But I'm gonna have to take it back to part 6. So this will be the events of part 6. Um, yep, that's that. Um, so all right, that's the end of the video.